Residents of Onaero say the new Plymouth Council's refusal to complete a rock wall at the North Taranaki beach settlement is leaving it at the mercy of the ocean. Gosh, we've been hearing these stories a bit from around the country. Resource consents are in place, but the council says it has no plans to finish the wall, warning instead that the residents need to consider how best to protect their assets. Our Taranaki Whanganui reporter, Robin Martin, has more.
The council-approved subdivision at Onaero, about 15 kilometres east of Waitara, was one of the first in the country to include a buffer zone for erosion. In the 1970s, it was considered it had a 100-year lifespan. Instead, residents are watching the Papa Cliffs crumble around them at an alarming rate. In 2015, the council spent $150,000 on repairs at Onaero, but it has balked at the $1.8 million price tag for a rock wall. Now the Onaero Foreshore Protection Society wants $650,000 included in the district plan for a scaled-back version. The Society's chairman, Frank Kerslake, says any further delay will put homes at risk.
They've brought the rock wall through to here, and it's another 200 metres that we need to protect the more recent subdivision. Like the subdivision was done in the 1974, so it's already reached the edge of the erosion zone now, so without rock protection it's going to undermine properties.
An engineer, Mr Kerslake, proposes using boulders to protect the toe of the cliffs to help stabilise them.
And what's been the effect of it? It works?
Oh, it works 100%. Like around the corner the ground is even worse and softer, and the road that's in front of it has been well and truly protected. Would have been long gone, and the houses if the rock walls hadn't been there.
Mr Kerslake says the cliffs are also a safety issue for those playing underneath them. And while that concerns Frank Bunker, he has more immediate worries for his retirement dream.
Property's going to they're going to devalue, and in time, well, don't know whether, you know, if it keeps coming back the way it is, whether you'll be able to stay here and live here, you know.
How do you feel about that?
Well, not too good really. How do you think? You know, it's not a good feeling. You know, we bought the place thinking that, well, we'd have at least 100 years, sort of, you know.
Bryce Tonks has owned the Ocean View Motel for 16 years. He says people are already finding it difficult to sell properties, and the council could do more.
We're not asking for a lot in terms of protection when you look at the 11.5 kilometres of rock wall that the council has around New Plymouth that's maintained by council and ratepayers fund. All we're asking is for under 600 metres of wall to be completed along the beach.
Mr Tonks says the future looks bleak.
The bottom line is that the subdivision on the top of the cliff was guaranteed for 100 years when it was developed, and the reports all show that it's only going to last 40 years before the sea's lapping at their doorsteps.
The New Plymouth District Council declined an interview. In a statement, it says although it has assisted with erosion protection in the past, it is not committed to doing so in the future. It says its policy is to only protect significant public assets. Onaero, it says, is in a dynamic coastal environment that is currently subject to a sustained period of erosion, which the draft district plan will further highlight. The council says ultimately residents need to consider how best to protect their assets. But back at his Sutton Road property, that is cold comfort to Mr Kerslake.
Well, we can't protect our own property. We've got a council reserve in front of us. We can't dump rocks on the council reserve. One, the resource consent's in the council's name, so we can't just willy-nilly go down and put rocks on the beach. Really, it's up to the council to action it.
Mr Kerslake expects the new district plan will include an erosion hazard line that passes through residents' properties. The draft plan is due to go out for public consultation early next year. I Taranaki mo te hōtaka o te ahi, ko Robin Martin ahau.